All right, welcome back to Taco's Truck Week 5 podcast. I'm your host, David Molly, with Joe Stevenson, co-host, and special guest, Andy Kilo. Thank you for being on, Kilo.
Thanks for having me.
Uh, you know the rundown. We'll just go into league news quick. Um, NFL has updated the COVID protocol that all Tier 1 staff members will be mask compliant officers. So basically, they're in charge of making sure that everyone else wears their mask, and if people don't wear their mask, they can get in trouble for it. Tier 1 members include players, coaches, athletic trainers, team physicians, strength and conditioning coaches, and even equipment managers. Today, it came out that New England cornerback Stephon Gilmore is positive for COVID. They shut down the New England facility. Since he's asymptomatic, but he did have the positive test. They went back and monitored the Patriots practices. Um, they noticed that he was wearing his whatever it is, the boundary wristband or whatever it is, to see if you're closer to someone than 6 feet. And he did a good job maintaining distance. And then they also went and looked at the video of the facility to make sure people were wearing their masks, and they were. And they specifically said Cam Newton was wearing his mask the whole time. So I did see that if he continues to be asymptomatic and have a negative test, that he will play this week, but that's still up in the air, especially with um, the new positive test for New England. And then today, also 2 Titans players came out positive, so they went 2 days without any positive COVID tests, and then today they had 2 new ones. So um, everyone has been feeling the effects of this in our league so far. Moved buys, moved games, etc. So just make sure you keep your eye out. Everyone's been doing a pretty good job, but um, yeah, it's 2020, bro. We'll move into buy and sell. Just a recap off of last week. We did Joe Burrow's quarterback 12. He ended up quarterback 21. Mike Davis, running back 13. He ended up running back 8. And Jimmy Graham, tight end 14. He ended up tight end 22. So Joe was 0-3 last week. I was 2-1. I missed on the Joe Burrows, and Marshall was 0-3 as well. We'll move into this week. The first one I got for you guys is Gardner Minshew versus Houston, QB8, buy or sell.
I'm selling. I know Houston's defense is horrible, but listen, if there's not today, so far in this league, this season in the NFL, it's nothing but offense and horrible defense. So if there's not 8 other quarterbacks in this league that you just can't name off the top of your head that are going to outscore Gardner Minshew, I mean, I don't even have to look at the numbers to pick and say sell.
I'm going to say sell too. Like Joe said, Houston's defense is horrible. They're giving up 30-plus points a game. Minshew has thrown 8 TDs and 4 interceptions so far this year. And I agree with Joe. All kinds of quarterbacks are popping off. I mean, you've got rookies like Herbert and Burrow that are popping off for 300 and a couple of touches every game. I mean, the odds that he's going to outpace everyone except 7 other quarterbacks, I just don't think that's going to happen. So,
yeah, I am a sell on this 100%. I even wrote down that Houston's number 29 defense, 28 in pressuring the quarterback, and 27th in coverage. But even then, I would have them around a quarterback 11 or 12. There's just too many advantageous matchups, and like you guys said, there's too many quarterbacks popping off. So yeah, that was a quick sell for me too. The next one is James Conner versus Philadelphia, RB13.
I'll go ahead and go first on this one. I think on him, I'm going to buy. He's averaging 5.6 rushes or 5.6 yards a carry. I mean, and I think it's just time for him to start popping off like the running back that he is. So even though Philly's got a pretty decent defense, pretty stout against the run, I still think that he's going to be better than RB13.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that too, Kilo. He's actually gone against some he didn't win against Denver. They're halfway decent run defense. But I do think that James Conner he's doing okay this year. He's healthy, so he's actually getting carries, and it's Philly. I know all the analysts buy Philly's defense. I watch it for years. I don't buy it. I am going to buy James Conner in this one. I think he can get at least up to, 13? Is that the number?
13, yeah.
I think he can make it to 13. We're gonna go with a buy.
Okay. And I'm a sell on this. Basically based off of what Joe said with the analyst, number 13 defense and their 18th in run defense, which isn't the best, but the game is only an over and under of 44. So there's not going to be a lot of scoring in this game based off of what analytics say. And with the average points so far that a running back 13 has been, what I think he's going to get, I think he's going to be more around 15 or 16 this week. So he's a sell for me. Moving on, Allen Robinson versus Tampa Bay, wide receiver 10.
All right, Dave, what do you got?
Allen Robinson is a buy for me. I know Tampa Bay has a very good defense, number 6 defense. They're number 7th in coverage, but he's going to be a main target in a shootout. He's caught 70% of his targets, which week 3 when Foles came in, 14 targets, and then last week he had 10 targets. I think that he's just going to have enough production being one of the bright spots on that team. And Chicago's defense is nothing to bat away either. So I think it'll be a tight shootout and Robinson's going to score.
All right. I can go on this one. So number 10, I'm going to sell. I do like Allen Robinson. He's put up great numbers so far. He's been a nice target for Foles. He was a decent target for Biscuit. But hopefully I can name 10 of their wide receivers. Like I said, this is kind of the Gardner Minshew thing for me. There's guys popping off all over this league, and they're actually playing a pretty good defense in Tampa Bay. And there's plenty of other matchups where I can say someone else is going to be higher than Robinson. I think Robinson's going to have a nice game. I can see him getting 6 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown, but I don't think that's going to crack top 10. I'm selling.
I'm selling on Robinson too. The Bears offense is shit. I mean, he's the only guy.
True Lions fan. Right
Lions fan. He's the only guy in the passing game. So, I mean, for higher level defense like Tampa Bay, they can lock down that one guy if they want. Yeah, he's really been up in his production the last couple of weeks. I just don't think it's going to happen against Tampa Bay. So,
all righty. We'll move into interesting facts. Joe, I know you have some, so go ahead and take it away.
I do. Give me 1 second here. So this is another long one with a lot of reading, but I'll try and skim through the most of it here. So interesting facts basically after week 4. Let's see here. It says quarterbacks have been shattering records throughout the 4 weeks. So Dak Prescott is off to a historic start of the season. He's got the most passing yards in any 3-game span. That was 1424. Now he has the most passing yards in a 4-game span, which is 1690. I didn't crunch the numbers to be exact, but I think off the top of my head, that's like over 6,000 on the season, which we know is not going to happen, but that's where he's heading. Derek Carr has now thrown for more touchdown passes than any other Raider in history. He passed the great Ken Stabler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Stabler had 150, and Derek Carr now has 151. So congrats to that turd. Tom Brady became the oldest quarterback ever to throw 5+ pass touchdowns in one game last week. Age is nothing but a number. Still doing it. Dak again. First player in NFL history to throw 450+ yards in 3 straight games. That is one god awful defense when Dak's got to throw for over 450 with Zeke back there. So that sucks. Aaron Rodgers, 92.8. They said this on ESPN the other day, but 92.8 total quarterback rating is the highest by any player through 4 games since QBR was first tracked in 2006. Second and third on the list are 2013 Peyton Manning and 2007 Tom Brady. They both won MVP and set the NFL record for touchdown passes in a season those years. So 55, we'll see. Tight end ballers. Tight ends have been making names for themselves with monster games and records. So in the loss the other night, George Kittle became the first tight end in NFL history to have at least 15 receptions and 175 receiving yards in a game.
A whole lot of fantasy points, baby.
Yeah, a whole lot of points. Clint was loving that. And I don't remember, but I think I heard somewhere, was he 100% on his target to catch ratio, I think?
I'll tell you.
It's coming up here, I think. I think he is. Hauling in a pair of grabs for the Chiefs. Let's see. That was early in the night. I think he ended up with 3 catches, but the 2 put Kelsey at 6,761 career receiving yards. Second most in NFL history recorded by a tight end through their first 100 games, only beaten by Gronk at 7,112. So he's only like 400 yards, 350 yards off the great Gronk. Here it is. George Kittle tied Christian McCaffrey in week 16 of 2019 for the most targets with a perfect catch rate in a single game. Kittle was 15 of 15, 183 and a touchdown. Beast. Big Bob is what they're calling him now, I guess. Big Bob.
Big Bob Tanyan. Well, I mean, now they're calling him that. They've been calling him that. But
Big Bob Tanya N is the first undrafted Packers player to score 3 receiving touchdowns in a single game in the Super Bowl era. Big Bob Tanya N has more touchdowns this season than the following tight ends combined. This will blow your mind. Kelsey, Waller, Henry, Ingram, and the great blocking tight end Gronk.
The blocking. I'm a blocking tight end, baby.
So that's a pretty impressive list to have more tight end or more touchdowns than all 5 combined. Let's see here. Points on points. Cleveland-Dallas game was history in the making, while Green Bay and Seattle are poised for an NFC Championship match. We'll skip that part. The Browns' 31 points were their most in a first half since December 1st, 1991 at the Colts. Bernie Kosar was their starting quarterback that day. Browns have also scored 30 points or more in 3 straight games for the first time since 1968. Back on the map. Let's see here. Browns have scored 118 points over the last 3 games, the most by blah, 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 1968. Same thing. Cowboys have allowed 38+ points in 3 straight games for the second time in franchise history.
No bueno.
The first time that it happened was 1960. Their first season in the NFL, they went 0-11-1. So looks like we went back in time with McCarthy. This is great. Let's see. Packers joined the Seahawks as the only team to score 30+ points in each of their first 4 games this season. Each of the teams to do so in the past 10 years was the 2011 Pats, 2013 Broncos, 2018 Rams. Finished 13-3, won their conference and advanced to the Super Bowl. So we'll see what happens here. That's 2 teams.
I like that fact, bro.
Yeah.
I like that fact.
Yep. We'll see how it goes. Cleveland Browns, 49 points in Dallas were their most points in a road game since 1989. Here's some historic streaks. Oh, sorry, Kilo. Detroit Lions have now lost 6 consecutive games in which they have led by 10+ points. That is the longest such streak in NFL history.
They're fucking awful.
That was
They're
one of
awful
mine.
too. Yep.
That was one
Kansas
of my
City Chiefs.
facts.
Streaking. They've won 12 consecutive games, including the playoffs, which is the longest streak in their history. So congrats to the Chiefs. After holding off a last-ditch Giants drive, the Rams, this is actually impressive. I like to knock McVay quite a bit, but this is impressive. The Rams are now 28-0 when leading at halftime in the Sean McVay era. Pretty impressive.
Damn.
They remain the only NFL's team without a single such loss in that span from 2017 on, when leading at half. Kansas City and New England. This was before the game, but it was the 26th meeting in NFL history between the Super Bowl champs from the prior 2 seasons. The reigning champ has won 10 of the last 11, which is now 11 of the last 12. Here's some rushing facts for you guys. I know this is taking forever. Sorry.
you're good.
Saints have not allowed this is also impressive. The Saints have not allowed a 100-yard rusher in 41 consecutive games.
Wow.
Wow,
The
that's
closest team is 14. That's pretty awesome.
that's
41,
pretty good.
41.
Mhm.
The Browns, they rushed for, man, it's just Browns. I guess this is what happens every time you play the Cowboys. So Browns rushed for 307 yards against the Cowboys, the most rushing yards allowed by Cowboys in a game in franchise history. They fall to 1-3, which is their worst record through 4 games since 2010 when they finished 6-10. Thank God for the expanded playoffs. Let's see. Lamar Jackson's 50-yard touchdown run was the longest rushing score by a QB in the last 5 seasons, and it was also his longest rushing touchdown of his career. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs, 18 missed tackles forced on runs this season. He is first in the league. And that is all I got, fellas. Anyone else got any interesting facts?
Yeah, I got it. I got a few. You got any, Kilo?
I got a few also.
Okay. You can go ahead then.
first if you want.
Go ahead.
All right. Talking about quarterbacks setting all kinds of records. 2 rookie quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, if he would have thrown for 10 more yards last week, he would have been the first rookie QB to throw for 300 yards in his first 3 games.
Yep.
He ended with 290, so he didn't quite get that one.
Damn.
Uh,
That's so
Joe
pretty good.
Burrow,
That's a small. Come on, man.
Yeah.
a little bit.
You know someone dropped the ball, so you're like, damn it.
I thought he was going to get it, man. I mean, there was time left in the 4th. They had the ball. They just couldn't get it going.
Yeah, he's a baller.
Joe Burrow is actually the first rookie quarterback to have 3 consecutive 300-yard passing games.
Another baller. Yep.
Another
Very
baller,
good, yeah.
yeah.
I'm liking
Crazy.
that offense.
What's that?
I said I'm liking that offense.
And it's
Yeah,
crazy, too, how many of these rookie QBs are just blowing up.
Yeah, I think for just to touch on that real quick, I think for Cincinnati, you know, if you look at like Cleveland, Baker Mayfield, you know, just all these rookie quarterbacks that you see come in, and usually the expectation is, you know, it's going to be a 2 to 3 year, usually 3-year turnaround. And I think the Bengals got something to be a little bit excited about here. I mean, this might not take as long as they thought. They literally went from being the worst team in the league, and they're going to be competitive, I bet, by next year.
Yeah,
They've got an explosive offense. Let's see here. And I've got one other, this is more of a trivia question. I'll ask you guys and see if you guys know this. Only one team
Let me
in the
type.
modern
Google,
era.
Google.
Yeah, Google. Let me Google real
Yeah.
quick.
Go ahead.
No, go
Only
ahead.
one team in the modern era has started out the season 0-4 and went to the playoffs. You guys have any idea what that team was?
We're going to edit out like a 30-second break. Let me think real quick.
Can I have 2 guesses?
Go ahead.
Ravens or Steelers?
Nope.
Damn it.
Joe, you want to throw
I'll
in
take.
any
Yep,
guesses,
I'll
or-
take 2 guesses. Give me 2 guesses here.
Okay.
I'm going to
You're
take.
Googling it right now.
No. Hands up, bro. Hands up. I'm going to take the Jets. Is that incorrect?
That's incorrect.
Damn it.
Damn, I thought you were gonna say correct. Your face,
Let's
facial
go.
expression. I was like, damn, let's go.
Let's go. We're gonna go a little nuts here. Let's try the Seahawks.
No, but close, same division when they played back then. It was the Chargers in 91 or 92, actually. And they actually finished the season 11-5.
Damn, that's
Decent.
not a team I would have guessed. 11-5 they finished.
11-5. They finished.
Woo!
That's a
Streaking.
run, boy.
Yeah.
That's a
That
run.
is a run.
That's good. That's
Damn.
really
That's all I got for Vax. What do you
All
got,
right.
Dave?
I got a little guessing one for you guys. Actually, you guys are knowledgeable, so it shouldn't be a guessing one. But I'll name 4 players and tell me what they have in common. Myles Garrett, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, and Joe Burrows.
Number 1 overall
Yeah.
picks.
Number 1 picks.
Okay. Number 1 overall picks. What else do they have in common?
Their teams sucked
No.
for
They
many
were
years.
were they all transfers in college?
Well, I do not know that, but my stat is they all had an NFL tie before they had their first win.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah. So 4 years in a row, they've all had a NFL tie before they had their first NFL win.
Thanks, NFL. Thanks,
Yeah.
millennials. Everything's got to be fair. No sudden death.
I got one about Herbert. Week 4, sorry. He threw 3 touchdowns and they were all to undrafted free agents. One of which went to tight end Donald Parham, which he got picked up from the XFL. So that's pretty
Decent.
cool.
Yeah, decent. Hey, speaking of that game, who was the little dude there, 83 or whatever it was? That was a laser beam for like 65 in the air in stride.
I'm not sure.
If you guys didn't
I didn't
see it,
see
go
that.
watch it.
No,
Oh,
I didn't
it
watch
was-
the game.
It was
No,
a
I saw the pass. It was
phenomenal
great
pass.
pass.
Yeah. My next one is since 2014, the Bears Colts matchup has successfully predicted the presidential election. In 2004, the Colts have won and George W. Bush was elected Republican. 2008, the Bears won, Obama. 12 was the Bears, Obama. 16, the Colts won for Trump. And 2020, the Colts won. So
Oh, Marshall, are you hearing this right now?
I
Your
was just thinking
team
the
is
same thing.
associated with Obama and all the rest of the Democrats.
yeah, so
Amazing.
I know that was actually the first thing when I read that. I was like, damn, Marshall's not going to like that. But
Speaking of, is Indiana a Republican state? Just kind of curious. I know Chicago or Illinois is definitely a Democratic state.
honestly, I'm not sure, but I would assume it's a Democratic state. My next one, this one is very impressive, if you ask me. The Steelers have recorded a sack in 60 consecutive games. The next closest active streak is the Cowboys at 21.
Whew.
60.
60.
It's
Wow.
almost 6 years.
Yeah,
Almost-
that's
Yeah.
a a lot of games. And then my last one, this one's a little fun one. And if you go back and look at number 1 draft picks, you can understand why this stat exists. But either way, if I didn't tell you that little blurb, it's a really fun stat. So Eric Fisher, Kansas City tackle, he was the first number 1 draft pick with a TD reception since 2006. The last person was Keyshawn Johnson.
Hang on, run that one more time.
Eric Fisher,
Yep.
he's the first number 1 draft pick with a touchdown reception
Wow.
since 2006.
Wow. That's crazy though,
Yeah.
because the league has changed and it's no longer getting that big name receiver at number 1.
Yep. Yeah. So, and like I said, if you go back and look, you see a lot of, quarterbacks now and whatnot and defensive players. So, it makes sense, but even still, I mean, he's a tackle, bro. So,
Oh yeah. And
know.
I know a little tidbit, but I remember that draft too. They dogged for taking him number 1.
Yeah.
I think he was like Central Michigan or something like that.
Yep,
And they
yep. Yeah, I
they
think it was
just
Central
dogged on his ceiling wasn't high enough, his talent wasn't good enough. And that dude's actually been a pretty damn good tackle.
Yeah, he's been concrete, that's for sure. You can rely on him. So we'll go into week 4 rewind. We'll start out with Swear at Me. Oh, this is week 5. I'm sorry. We'll just breeze through these quick. We'll start with 1 and 2 Swear at Me versus 0 and 3 Fournettecated. Fournettecated wins 156.8 to 146.
Congrats. First win of the year.
Yes, congrats, Marshall,
Congrats.
for the win.
Out of the cellar, baby.
Yeah.
Well, tied in the cellar.
There's a
You
lot
just
of
got some
teams
company
tied for that.
Yeah, you just
too.
got some company. There's a party going on down there now.
I think it's 6 teams in the league.
Everybody's hanging out in Marshall's basement.
Yeah.
Come on over, fellas.
The flooded basement.
Oh yeah.
I don't really have much to say on this. I predicted Marshall to win this game. I did say, Dak continues to keep having a big day. Mixon showed out. This was a pretty advantageous matchup. It was close at the end, though. I just needed Tyreek to score about 25, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility for Tyreek Hill. They did start their first 2 drives, Kansas City, with field goals, so that really put a hurting on me. But yeah, he had a lot of double digits scores, quite a few 20s. So Watson Fuller was a good stack, and it was hard to beat him. I would have beat everyone but 2 or 3 teams in the league this week.
Yep.
And I just ran up to Marshall. So congrats to him.
I felt for you on this game, man. When you've got 2 guys that throw down 40 burgers and you still don't come out with the win, that hurts, buddy.
Yeah, it was rough for sure.
Yeah, and especially with Mixon, I think he was actually questionable up until that morning. They were actually talking about possibly not playing Mixon and playing
so
Bernard.
the day before he practiced full, and then the day before he got put on the injury report for chest pain.
Yep, and dude balled out, man.
Yeah, so that's why he's in my flex, because I didn't know if he's gonna play. But yeah, so Joe picked Marshall correctly. I picked Marshall, and for some odd reason, Marshall picked me. So he
was just used to getting beat up all year. He was down on himself, but he's back in there, streaking, baby.
Moving on, 1 and 2 Kilos Gary versus 2 and 1 Consent Not Required. Kilos Gary wins 152.3 to 111.6. What do you got?
Listen, guys, I just set my lineup because it's the only guys I had to go in there, and I got super duper lucky with Chubb going down and Beckham, rushing for 800 yards, even though he's a receiver. So I got kind of lucky.
But no, what I am gonna say is, I was texting Brandon, dude, I literally getting smashed. He had 8 or 9 touchdowns on his team, and I had 0 going into Monday night. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous.
That's a rough one.
Yeah, and these guys were getting yardage. You know what I mean? Jefferson did okay. He hit over projection. Emmanuel Sanders went over projection. Henderson struggled against the Giants, which I did not see that one coming. Gurley had another nice game. He's actually been pretty consistent around that 15-point mark. Everyone actually, I hit I missed my projection by I think 0.6. I think it was 112.2, which I would have made if Crosby would have hit his extra point.
You can see the screen, bro, can't you?
Oh, yep, it's up to 115.
115.2.
Okay. Yep. So it wasn't far off. I mean, I knew I was gonna have a rough week, but it's tough right now without McCaffrey out there. But I did not expect Mahomes to be quiet for so long in that game. That game was a snoozer for a while.
Well, and I'm sure you watched it, obviously, because it's a primetime game, but they said that Mahomes has only been held 3 times without a touchdown in the first half, and it was all New England every single time.
Well, we were actually flinging cards that night, and a couple of us even mentioned, I think I did, was, Belichick. Dude, Belichick's going to take away your number one option and make you, don't get me wrong, there's 6 options on Kansas City, but look what they did to Kelsey.
Yeah.
He had 3 catches. He got 10 points. He's always going to focus on your number one weapon and make you go all the other directions, and it's typical Belichick.
Yeah, I think you, me, and someone else had a discussion. I think it was Clint when we were golfing about if Belichick was actually a really good coach. And I always have thought he's a good coach. I mean,
Oh, he's a genius.
this is kind of a testament to it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're able to hold this offense to minimal points, basically minimal stats. I mean, I know we won by 16, but
I would literally trade, and this is crazy, but I would trade Dak Prescott for Belichick right now. We could start over with the quarterback. I don't care. I want Belichick running the Cowboys, bar none.
yeah,
I
think everyone won.
Head and shoulders above everybody.
What was that, Kilo? You're super quiet.
I was going to say, I think about any team would actually trade their star player for Belichick.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
No doubt.
I'd trade Stafford in a New York minute for Belichick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seriously. And I got Stafford love.
Oh yeah. I love Stafford.
Well, especially in your situation, he takes like non-talented guys and turns the team into really good. And that's like the Lions is full of non-talented players.
Oh shit. That's messed up. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the next one. For that matchup, Kilos Gary versus Consent Not Required. Joe did pick himself incorrect. I picked Brandon correctly, and Marshall did pick Joe incorrectly. We'll move on to Dagger time. 3-0 Dagger time versus 1-2 uncircumcised Chubb. Go ahead, Kilo. This is your matchup.
I know in the last podcast, you guys were saying, "Oh yeah, this is going to be a blowout." I knew my team was going to start to kind of come down to the ground a little bit. Yeah, I got the win, but if you look at the points that I scored, I was like fourth from the bottom in points scored this week. Allen and Kamara both kind of came down to earth a little bit. No one really balled out like they have in the first few weeks.
Except Rojo.
What's that?
Except Rojo. Rojo had 18.8.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Fournette was out. So, I mean,
but still, like, I mean, you don't really, at this point of the season, no one's really expecting, regardless of injury or not, if him to have 18 plus points. So,
right. And of course, Chubb getting hurt, that's a huge hit right there. For Johnny O, Drake just hasn't been playing well either. Unfortunately for him, the only one who really kind of surprised me in the box score was Crowder putting up 17. Everyone else just kind of shit the bed, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, Johnny seems to have him in the lineup at the right times. I think he's only played him once where he was kind of mediocre, but the other two times he's put him in, he's actually balled out way above his projections. So
a funny little thing about Crowder, and I might have said this to Joe, I'm not sure, but I was, just like everyone else, I was reading some articles and shit, and then I listened to a podcast as well that I really enjoy listening to. And basically everywhere I was listening or reading, because Crowder was injured. He was on the injury report all week. He was questionable play, and he had a Thursday night game. Everyone was saying there's no one in the world that would play Jamison Crowder right now. And like, obviously they can't hear me talking, but I was like, these motherfuckers have never met Johnny O.
Yeah, Johnny will do it.
Johnny O is going to play Crowder, bro.
That dude's a former skin. He's going in, dog.
Yeah. Former Skins going in, baby.
That's right. Did Blankenship ever play for the Skins, or maybe his uncles?
He's probably got a relation. Like, one of the personal
owner.
Trainers is his like cousin or something.
For sure.
He
Anyway,
left Warren on the bench.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, well, I mean, it's Baltimore, and every time you see anybody versus Baltimore,
probably
you get
just
scared,
hoping. He's probably just hoping for advantageous matchup against Minnesota with Cobb.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But,
yeah. Anyway, Joe picked Kilo correctly. I picked Kilo correctly, and Marshall picked Kilo correctly. Moving on to the next game, 1-2, no fear versus 1-2, Eskimo's brother. No fear wins 153 even to 127.1. Go ahead.
So this is like the dad giving the kid a ride to Marshall's basement. JR said, "Sure, Mark, I'll give you a lift," and dropped him off at Marshall's basement. He's 1-3. He laid down another smacking. I mean, dude, JR's team is just hitting on all cylinders right now. He's got Thielen's balling out. Keenan Allen's hitting projection almost every week. Look at Schultz, 17.2. Mike Evans back in the game with Godwin out. He's
Back at the
literally
game.
lighting it up. Yeah. Look at Bullock, 17. He's got a good squad right now, man. They're balling.
Yeah.
Hilaire against New England still racked up 12. I mean, that's not horrible, considering they're going to be passing. So right now, I'll take 12 out any running back on my team. Should.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yep. On the other side, though, Mark didn't miss. I mean, listen, same thing, Kilo, you were saying you're like the fourth lowest for the week. Dude, me and Clint have this conversation all the time. I know I've had it with other people. I'm taking 125 out of my team every day of the week. You give me 125, it's a roll of the dice, man. That means either you got a really good shot at winning unless somebody goes crazy on the other team, and granted that happens in our league a lot, but I'll still take them 120s all day long. So Mark had another good week, typical Mark fashion, throws up 127, still gets smashed. But look at his guys. I mean, besides Calvin Ridley, that was a huge shocker.
Right.
Throwing up the double zeros, man. Nobody saw that coming. I would have put him in my lineup as well. So kudos to JR.
And Joe, me, and Marshall all picked JR in that match. Moving on. 3-0 shoe name versus 2-1 Baby Shark. Baby Shark, in my opinion, gets the upset. 143.3 to 128.8.
Yeah, hashtag's got a good team. I mean,
That's a throwback.
Yeah,
That's a throwback, baby.
It's my nickname for him. I mean, he's one of the few guys, like, after the draft, when, I got looking at the rosters, I was like, he's got a really good, solid team. Obviously Eckler getting hurt, that was really the game right there. If Eckler posts what he normally posts, I mean, they're both right at that 143.
He's actually got him beat if he hits projection.
Right. I mean,
oh no, he'd be short by 0.1. Either way, it'd be close.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, his team's good and solid. I mean, shit. I mean, he's got some good receivers. Murray, Aaron Jones has just been popping off. He's got a good team, but Baby Chark, I mean, Chark with 29.5.
The namesake, baby.
Right. Traquan Smith, 21.4.
Best week he'll have all year.
Right. 1 week wonder right there. So yeah, Baby Chark pulling it out.
Yeah. That was I seen Traquan Smith. I was like, what the fuck, bro? And then he won. So that was a good one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, I was just gonna say Tom made sure he made it a point to let me know that how about that Traquan pickup, dog? And listen, congrats, Tom, but it still doesn't make up for the Burkhead the week before. So I just don't think Tom wanted to have two big mistakes 2 weeks in a row.
Or not even the Burkhead, bro.
The Chark. Yeah.
DJ Chark not practicing all week. Like, I'm never gonna forget that.
Oh,
my bro didn't even know how to check an injury report. Come on.
Hey, dog. Big win. I love to see anybody fall from the undefeated rank. So congrats to Tom. Thanks for reeling him back in a little bit. The league appreciates it.
Yep. We all picked Matt incorrectly. And the next game, 2-1 Kittle Dick versus 1-2 CallofJeudy. Kittle Dick wins 133.6 to 114.4.
George Kittle.
Yeah,
The names.
dude,
Gotta be said.
the namesakes are popping off
Yep.
this week.
Yeah,
or
I
that
need
last
to-
week. I
I need
mean,
to change my name to McCaffrey just to get
yeah,
my
yeah,
one.
right.
Crazy.
Well, they all popped off except for Judy.
Yeah, except for good call.
Oh,
Except for Judy,
yeah.
baby.
But he did have a respectable game.
Hey,
So
14.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, the guy was projected to get 10. Like,
This is true.
You know, like yeah,
Over
he didn't
projection,
pop
man.
off,
Yep.
but he hit over projection. So I'll take that any day. But yeah, so
it's Kittle, bro. Kittle
there's
did
not
this
much
whole-
to say, bro. Yeah, he
Nah.
had Kittle and Zeke had a decent.
This
game.
matchup was actually really close across the board, except for tight end. I mean that, but look at you think Goddard going out and no wideouts except for 2 practice squad guys and Ward down in Philly.
Mhm.
You would think that Zach Ertz is going to get just lit up down there, and dude, he's been just non-existent the whole year. Sean, I'll trade you for him. I'll give you like golden tape for Ertz or something. We can work it
Looking
out.
back at my notes, I said I was low on Ertz against the number 1 defense.
Yeah, I mean, and it is the
coverage.
Niners, but it doesn't matter, dude. I mean, you've got to ball out eventually. You know, what I mean, when you're that
I
top
picked
level
Clint by
3 to 4 tight
14.
end, yeah, you've got to be balling. And this dude's not. There's no chemistry right now going on in Philly at all. Not sure what's going on, but either way, it was Kittle. Big separation.
Yeah, for sure. Joe picked
I got
Sean.
one other thing
Oh,
to
go
say
ahead.
about this
Go,
real
go.
quick.
Yep.
And this is directly to you, V. Just because you name the team after a guy does not mean you need to start the asshole every week.
Yeah. I'm gonna do another dig. By the way, Sean, you're not winning another game all year because you touched my fucking trophy. So, boom.
Oh man, then everyone's not going to be winning another.
Yeah, but
game.
he took it. So
I
he's goose egg.
also I'm not gonna disclose what the trade was, but I thought I gave Sean an extremely good trade, and he told me that his team was gonna pop off for the rest of the year. So I don't know how that's gonna happen when Mike Davis only has like 1 week left and David Johnson has a dismantled team. But anyway, moving on.
Robbie Anderson.
What's that?
Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, well, DJ Moore is going to start stepping it up too, so that's going to get spread out. Joe picked Sean incorrectly. I picked Clint correctly, and Marshall picked Clint correctly. So moving on.
Congrats, Cupcake. Nice win. Moving on.
Yeah. So for week 4, Joe was 3-3. I was 5-1, and Marshall was 3-3. Moving the totals: Joe 12-12, David 16-8, Marshall 7-11, and for Matt's time on the show, he was 2-4.
All right.
So I just have the standings up here so you can see where everyone's at. My divisions, all 3-1s or 1-3s, and you guys have a little bit of mix up on
right there.
Kilo still 4-0.
Well,
Congrats.
yeah, at least Kilo's putting up the points to back it up, but look
Yeah.
at that point against. You guys are weak.
I'm gonna revel in it while I can. It's
For
not
sure.
gonna last much
For
longer.
sure. But at least you're putting up points, man, and that's all that matters.
All right, let's move on to week 5 matchups. You got 3-1 shoe name versus 1-3 swear at me. Go ahead.
All right, what's with the shoe name?
His name is based off of shoes. His anti-bot cheat code, it's a shoe thing.
Okay, I always wondered what the heck the deal was with that.
If you heard me in the first podcast, I had a little bet with Joe that Matt was going to name his team after something about shoes, and he did.
Should have went with the vape dog.
Vape gang, bro.
All right, I'll start there if you guys want. I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Start it up. So, in this matchup, so on Murray, whatever. He's doing okay. He'll hit projection. Don't like either one of his running backs in the situation, but I love every receiver matchup he's got. Cooper, Diggs, even Samuel and Waller. So he's got a really nice setup right there. Just don't like his RBs. On your side, Dave, I've got like Dak again. He's still hot. He's playing the Giants. Until they can not play from behind, it's going to be Dak Prescott all day down there. Running back wise, I'm so. Baltimore and Cincy has a sneaky good defense. Tyreek Hill against Vegas. Vegas does have, I think, the worst pass defense in the league right now. So I do like Tyreek Hill. But basically what I ran this down to is I do like, for points, I do like Matt getting big time points out of receivers, but I'm picking Dave by 2 just on the fact that you need a win, dog. You got to get a win this week.
I didn't change my lineup.
Oh,
That's
nice.
not my
nice.
that's not my lineup. I was looking at my paper and you said Cincy and I was like, what? That's not
Yep.
my lineup.
Yep.
Okay, but anyway. Go ahead, Keelan.
You know, I kind of agree with Joe on this. You know, like I said, I do like hashtags team, but with Jones having a bye, Eckler, you know, getting hurt for several weeks now.
Yep.
Dude didn't even have any backup running backs on his team until
He did have Deion Lewis.
Oh, he did have Lewis.
Yeah, which is basically a 0. So
right. So you know, just because of that, I mean, he's got nothing at running back right now. You know, obviously you can't put any quarterback against Prescott and expect another quarterback to outscore him right now. So, you know, I got the edge for quarterback on Swear at Me also. You know, you might want to, you know, you got to look at the Gage matchup, you know, maybe Giuseppe. But I still got Swear at Me coming out by 3 points ahead.
Yep. If it's ever time to get mad, it's this week. Like you said, his running backs are non-existent, injured and bye. So,
you said by 2, Joe, and what were you, Kilo?
3.
3. Okay. So I'm not going to do my normal spiel of super analytics here. Basically, his running backs are both minimal points for me. Mixon is going to, in my opinion, at least get me 10. And I'm going to play Gaskin as my number 2 running back against San Fran. I think he's going to at least get 10. And then Zach Moss is supposed to play this week, and he has a really advantageous matchup. So I'm going to play him in the flex. Based off of that, I have me by 10, 122 to 112.
decent. Yep.
Sorry, I didn't do that on purpose. I didn't realize I left it like that. When you were reading it, I was like, what in the fuck? Moving on. We got 2 and 2 consent not required versus 1 and 3 uncircumcised Chubb. Go ahead, Joe. This is your matchup.
All right. Let's see here. Of course, I like Mahomes. He's going against the worst passing defense in fantasy right now. I like Todd Gurley. He's actually been producing really well, and he's actually going against I can't remember what their rank was, but they're way down on rush defense. They're just high on pass defense. So I like Gurley in the situation. Not big on Henderson, but I went out and picked up Damian Harris. We'll see what happens. Golden Tate, just going to play him out of the fact that he's playing the Cowboys, and Jefferson's playing Seattle, which is really good for me. And again, Kelsey's playing against the worst pass defense. N'Keal Harry, I'm not sure what we're going to do here yet. It all depends on if Ruggs comes back, and there's also the situation with Michael Thomas coming back. So the flex is going to be open for now, but I do like a lot of those matchups. On the other side, Johnny O, the fact that Nick Chubb got hurt, AJ Brown's still up in the air. They're talking maybe this week, maybe not, but I don't like either one of his running backs in this situation. I'm just going myself by 7.
All right. I see both Mahomes and Kelsey kind of having a bounce back game. I mean, you can't bet against those.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like you said, Gurley, he's been pretty consistently decent. It's too early in the season yet for his knee to fall off, but that's going to happen probably about week 12 or so. You know, I like your pickup of Justin Jefferson. I mean, young guy, lots of upside. Can't really count on him for
Huge upside.
consistency yet or huge games like you were saying. But I mean, he's a good player. He's going to continue to get better. That being said, on Johnny O's side, Matt Ryan can put up the points. Kenyon Drake's just been dog shit for what he's supposed to be this year. I like his receivers a lot better than yours, Joe. I'm gonna pick the upset on this one. I'm gonna go Chubb by 2.
Okay, let's go.
It's all blink and chip, dog.
Yeah, right. Those nerd glasses. That's what I was trying to do with the picture, and Johnny O did not. find
For
that
sure.
funny.
Dude can't miss.
Anyway, so I have Joe winning 139 to 124. Mahomes is going to have a good game against number 31 defense. I put in my notes that he's the number 1 quarterback this week, 100%. Write it down.
I like it.
Gurley, I'm so maybe a little bit upside, like hit his projection. He's against Carolina. It's the number 23 defense, number 15 run defense. There should be a lot of scoring in that game, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was over. I know that's a cop out, but he's going to be right around there. Henderson against Washington is a meh for me. Cam Akers is supposed to be back this week, and that's the number 19th run defense, number 11th defense overall. N'Keal Harry is a no for me. Backup quarterback. They were horrible. Number 5 defense, number 9 in coverage. I know I said at the beginning that Cam may come back, but that's still speculation. Jefferson is a go for me versus Seattle. That's a plus, or that's an over and under 57.5. There's going to be a lot of passing, and Thielen coming on. I think they're going to be able to spread the ball, and he's going to get some points. Kelsey is a go for me against number 31 defense. Tate is a go for me versus Dallas number 32 defense.
If there's ever a game, dog, if there's ever a game left in that body, it better be this week.
There's an over and under of 54 points, and the Cowboys are favored by 9.5. So New York's
hang
gonna
on, hamstrings.
throw, baby.
Please, hamstrings, hang on. Stay attached to the bone.
The Bucks is a go for me against Chicago. Number 6 defense versus number 17th offense. They're still trying to figure themselves out. On the flip side, Ryan is probably hit his projection for me against Carolina. I want him to have a bounce back game against the number 24 defense. But dude, you watch his last 2 weeks, this is not Matt Ryan, bro. This is his cousin or something. Drake is a meh for me, even though he's going against the number 30th defense. He's losing a lot of touches, and he actually has worse targets, red zone attempts, and goal line attempts than Chase Edmonds. So
smart move by Johnny picking up Chase though too.
Yeah, so
just in case something happens here with this Drake situation.
I will say I did offer Johnny a trade for Drake like 2 weeks ago, and I'm so glad he denied that, even though, in my opinion, it was a really good trade. But anyway, Gibson is a plus for me because he's going against number 16 defense, but they are the 30th run defense. I like his touches and targets in that system. McLaurin's a go for me. Actually, if you watch that game, they asked Haskins if he could have any player on his team who could come with him, who would it be? And he said McLaurin. So I think that they have really good chemistry. He's had 7
little tidbit on that. They're playing Kyle Allen this week. Haskins got put down to number 3 on the roster, and they moved Alex Smith up to number 2. So it'll be Kyle Allen. Yeah, Kyle Allen's going to start.
I did not see that,
which is great for Gibson because he is king of the dump. McCaffrey has, lived off of that for 2 years straight, or a year and a half straight, whatever.
Damn, I did not see that. Either way, I still like his matchup. He's had 7+ targets every game. And he had 13 in week 4.
Maybe dude will get hurt and Alex Smith will be in because that dude, he balls, man, as long as he's healthy.
Dude, no.
High on
His-
Jamison Crowder against number 25 defense in Arizona. I'm kind of meh on Hurst just because of the Matt Ryan bounce back. I am high on Slayton versus Dallas. The same reason I said I was high on Tate. It's going to be a shootout.
I'm high on the guy that catches the football on the sideline against Dallas when they just chuck the football off to the side and bring in a new ball.
All
That
right.
dude's gonna catch it 100% of the time. I'm high on him.
Steelers D, that's number 2 defense versus the 31 offense in Philly. And Blankenship, he's goated, bro. So Joe 139 to John's 124.
I'm going to say this real quick. Alex Smith, no way that guy should ever play again. His leg is pure hamburger, man.
He's gonna be comeback player of the year next year. 100%.
No way.
Hundy P. Moving on, 2-2 no fear versus 4-0 Dagger time. Go ahead, Kilo. This is your game.
All right. So as we said before, JR's team is just firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
I mean, Russ is a fucking stud. Dangerous. Keenan Allen, he can run hot and cold. He'll most of the time he'll get you the points, and then he'll have a couple of games a year where he pops off for a 30 burger. So he's dangerous. Obviously, Evans is a stud. Thielen's going to put up a shitload of points. Miles Sanders is going to shit the bed because he has every week this year. But his team's just popping. And, as for my team, Galladay and Adams are both bye weeks this week. Mostert's still going to be out for a week or two. So, I got some decent players, but they're all riding the pines. So, I'm kind of patching a team together this week and hoping for the best, but I'm picking JR by 9.
Go ahead, Joe.
So same thing, Kilo. Just kind of as we've been talking, exact same thing about your team. You got some injured guys, you got guys on bye weeks. Now when Adams comes back and Mostert comes back, you're back up in the 150s again. I do see you hitting like right around projection 120, 125 in this matchup. Your guys are still doing good. Higbee's okay. Ronald Jones is doing decent. Singletary, I think, is coming back down a little bit this week. He went against one of the worst rushing defenses last week. So I do have JR winning this matchup by 4. And again, that's because Edwards-Hilaire's playing against a horrible D. Russell Wilson's playing against a horrible D. Thielen's playing against a horrible secondary. So he does have advantageous matchups all the way down. And then even with Mike Evans, I know they have like Kyle Fuller, but there's so many weapons in Tampa Bay that you're going to play man defense against Mike Evans, and I'm still taking Evans over Fuller. So he's got good matchups, bro. I got him winning by 4 just to be nice. It'll probably be double digits, but he's probably going for another 140, 145.
I wasn't as nice. I had JR winning 152 to Kilo's 112. Basically on Kilo's side, like you said, it's a patched up team. In my notes, the only 2 people I'm really high on are Allen and Kamara. Everyone else has tough matchups. Rojo has a tough matchup. He's going to have a shit ton of touches because there's only 2 running backs there now. But everything else is, I think the Eagles-Pittsburgh game is going to be low scoring, so you're not going to get a lot of points there, in my opinion. So I only think you're going to get 112, bro. Sorry. On JR side, everyone is up for me except for Sanders against Pitt. And then Evans versus Chicago that one's rough because he's going against number 4 defense. He hurt his ankle and it's a Thursday night game. So, but other than that, JR is going to ball out and give you your first loss. Sorry, bro. Moving on. 1-3 Eskimos brothers versus 2-2 Kilos Gary. This is the Supervisor Bowl, baby. Let's
The
go.
Super Bowl.
Supervisor
Bowl.
Bowl. I'm trying to hype up my supervisor, but
All right, what do you got, Dave? Go ahead. You got the Super Bowl.
oh man. Don't dock my pay, Mark, when I fucking pop this off. I'm sorry, bro. I got Brandon 137 to Mark's 123. I hope it's a nail biter. And B-Shift gang, I hope Mark wins, but I'm trying to keep my stats up on this thing. So I got Brandon 137 to Mark's 123. On Mark's side, I think Roethlisberger is going to hit projection 22. He's going against Philly, number 13 defense. Like I said in the previous one, I think it's going to be low scoring. I think he's just going to get enough to get his projection. I'm kind of meh on Gordon versus New England, kind of like what we were saying with Belichick before, number 7 defense. I am high on McKinnon versus Miami, and I hate saying that because I do not like McKinnon, but he's against the number 28 defense. And little fact, if you didn't know, McKinnon has scored in every single game this year.
Yep,
So,
touchdown every week.
I am high on Hopkins versus the Jets, number 24 defense. I'm meh on Boyd, and I hate to say that because I really like Boyd, and like I said before, I like this offense, I like the system, but this is a tough matchup. Andrews is a go for me against Cincinnati, and Johnson is a go for me against Philadelphia. They're number 22 in coverage. I know he did have the concussion, and I know he's still questionable. I'm hoping that he practices and plays because they did have that bye week. The Rams versus Washington, that's the number 16 defense versus the number 28 offense. Plus, you said they're changing quarterbacks, which I did not know before. And then he did tell me yesterday that he's going to pick up a kicker, so he just hasn't picked one up yet. On Brandon's side, though, I'm high on Brady versus Chicago. I think he's going to continue to score points. High on Connor versus Philadelphia. That's the number 18th run defense. High on Hunt. Cleveland is the number 1 running back team in the league, and I know they're going against the number 8 run defense in Indianapolis, but they just are clicking with their running backs, man. I'm meh on Odell versus Indy just because they're number 1 ranked defense there. High on Lamb in a shootout versus New York. I think Smith will hit his projection versus Buffalo. The team is coming off a bye, so I think that they're going to have their shit together. Thomas versus the Chargers. If he's healthy, the Chargers have allowed the 12th most yards to wide receivers, so he's a go for me. The Cardinals is a meh against the Jets. That's the number 25 defense versus the number 30th offense. And Tucker's a go for me. I got Brandon 137 to Mark's 123.
All right, I'll go next.
Yep.
So Brandon's Minge. That's what I'm going to call Brandon's team. You want to name your team after my asshole? I'm going to call it your Minge. So Brady's a fucking stud still. Doesn't matter that he's 43. Connor and Hunt. Like I said before, I think Connor's going to have a good bounce back game. Hunt's the number 1 guy in Cleveland right now. Yeah, it's against Indy, but still, I think he's going to get his. He's got so much. He's got a lot of firepower. On the other side, for Mark, I agree. I don't like McKinnon either. I don't think that he's got very good vision. But as Dave said, he's had a touchdown every game. First 49er to do that 4 weeks straight since Jerry Rice. So that's something. You got to ride that hot hand. I think he needs to get Allen Robinson in that lineup. I don't think that you can leave him on the bench, even though I think Chicago and the offense sucks. I still think he's going to do better than Deontay Johnson. That being said, I am going to pick Brandon's Minge by 8.
Okay. I'm going the complete opposite here. Now I think it's going to be the closest matchup of the week. I got Mark by 93-92 in a barn burner here, but I do feel that Big Ben's going to come off of this. Well, they're bye week now. He's going to pretty much light Philly up. He'll hit probably 28 points. Don't like Melvin Gordon at all in that situation against New England. I would put Saquon in before that, and he's on the IR. So with that said, I actually like, believe it or not, I like Devontae Freeman this week against Dallas. Whether it be the running yards that they allowed last week or the swing passes are going to have to happen. I actually like Devontae Freeman. M high on McKinnon again. Like I said, he's got a touchdown every week. It's a good point. You can never bench Hop. Andrews is beast mode. He does have some tough matchups in there. Boyd, Baltimore, Deontay Johnson. But listen, we all know what Mark's game is. Dude, Mark's got Calvin Ridley sitting down there. You know that homie's going in. He's also got Justin Jackson he can put in against New Orleans. Now, even though we just read New Orleans hasn't not allowed a 100-yard rusher in like 41 straight games, but he's got options. On Brandon's side, the reason why I'm taking Mark is not because Mark's team's going to blow up. Again, I had him at 93, but I have a feeling that actually Tom Brady's coming down to reality this week. This is a week where he has to put Tom Brady in because Aaron Rodgers is on a bye week. I think Tom Brady's coming down to right around like 20 points. James Conner's going to have a nice week, but lo and behold, Cleveland is going to score about 20 points tops in this game. So I'm low on Hunt, low on Beckham. I'm actually low on Michael Thomas coming back in his first game back, if he makes it back this week. And high on CeeDee Lamb. Smith, Buffalo's actually allowing quite a bit to tight ends. I'm good with Smith, but I've got it being 93-92. I'm going Mark over Brando.
All right. Kilo, what was your projection again? I'm sorry. Brandon by something.
I picked Brandon by 8. I believe that's what I said.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Moving on, we have 3-1 Baby Shark versus 3-1 Kittle Dick. Go ahead.
I'll take this one. So I think Jesus, what's he got down there? I think this also depends on Cam Newton as well, but even if Cam Newton doesn't make it back, I do like Minshew's matchup with Houston. We talked, Houston's got one of the worst defenses in the league, and they can't even seem to keep on the field because their offense is so goddamn bad. So their defense is always playing. I've got Clint by 12, and I do like some of Chark's matchups. I'm not high on Jackson this week, but I do like Jacobs. I like Robinson. Do not like the Cup matchup. Chark's going to be good. Do not like Hooper, and Juju's going to be good, and he'll fill in whatever with flex. So, but on the other side, I like Zeke versus the Giants. I think that game is actually going to be, since the Giants' offense is not that great, I think it's actually going to be more of a clock control run game for Dallas this time. Only throw when they get behind, which hopefully they don't. And I actually like Jonathan Taylor this week against Cleveland. I think that's going to be the exact same thing where they're going to try and keep Cleveland's offense off the field. They're going to try and control clock. Tyler Lockett's going to blow up against Minnesota. John Brown's going to have a nice week against Tennessee. Kittle's amazing right now. So I'm going Clint by 12.
All right. So I've got Kittle by 5. Jackson versus Minshew. I think Minshew's going to put up some points. Like I said earlier, I don't think he's going to hit that QB 8, but I think he's still going to put up points. I've got it basically a wash between him and Jackson. As for the running backs, I'd rather have Kittle's running backs right now. Zeke's a stud. I don't know why they're not feeding him quite as much as they have in the past. But I like Taylor over Robinson. Lockett's a stud. Kittle has just been unreal this year. On the other side, I think Chark's actually going to come down to earth a little bit. I think he had like 27 last week. He's not going to have that again. I don't care for Hooper. Juju, I see him doing some pretty decent things against Philly. Philly's just kind of a mess. Obviously, he needs to get a defense in there. But I've still got Kittle by 5.
All right. I have this one as my closest matchup of the week. I have Clint 130 to Tom's 127. Basically, I am a go for Jackson versus Cincinnati, go for Jacobs versus Kansas City. That's number 25 run defense. And I don't think there's going to be too much of a negative game script where they don't utilize them that much. Robinson's a plus for me against Houston's number 26 run defense. Cooper is a plus. Chark is going to have a good week against the number 29th defense. Hooper's also a no for me against Indy, number 1 defense. I agree. I think Juju's going to do some stuff there. I think he's going to find the end zone against Philly, number 13th defense. He does have the Patriots down there, and that's the number 7th defense going against the number 32 offense in the Broncos. So that's a plus for me. And Zerline, Cowboys are going to score. So he's going to kick some field goals at least. So that's a
I think I said flex, but yeah, it's his defense that's out.
Yeah. People knew what you meant.
Yep. Thank you.
I agree. Minshew is going to have a good game. He's not going to get to QB8, but he is going against the number 29 defense.
Yep.
I do agree. He's going to have a good game against New York. And even if they are in a negative game script, they still utilize him. So Zeke's just one of them players that no matter where the game takes them, he still gets his fair share of touches. So I am not a go for Taylor. I'm a meh for Taylor against Cleveland. They're number 12 run defense, but I'll be honest with you. Taylor has been not necessarily a letdown, but he definitely has not hit anywhere close to what his hype was. So when I look at Jonathan Taylor at this point, I think that's a running back that should get you 20 plus points, but it's not. So I'm high on Lockett against Minnesota, number 30th defense. Brown is a man for me. He's going against the number 17th defense, number 11th coverage. Kittle's a go. Chenault is starting to see touches, and I think he's a go versus the number 29th defense. Colts are number 1 defense in the league, so that's a go for me. And Gonzalez, the Arizona should hopefully score, so I think he'll still get some field goals or some PATs and whatnot. So I have this one close, 130 to 127, going to Clint.
All right.
And then the last game, we have the newly 1-3 Fournettecated versus the 1-3 CallofJeudy.
Go ahead,
All right.
Commish. What do you got?
Okay, so I have Marshall winning 147 to 121. Basically, everyone on Marshall's side is a plus for me. In their respective games, Watson's going against the 20th defense. Cook's going to be in a shootout. Carson's versus the 30th defense. Metcalf is the 30th defense. The only one I am low on is Parker with San Francisco, number 2 defense. But Henry's going against the 19th defense, number 26 coverage team in the Saints. Fuller is a go for me against Jacksonville, 20th defense. Broncos versus New England. If they do start a backup quarterback, that's a go for me. And Buckner is a go for me. On Sean's side, Breeze is going against the Chargers, number 22 defense. Johnson is a man for me. He hasn't been doing much this year. He's going against the number 13th run defense. His highest points he scored all year was in week 1, 19.9. So he's been struggling. Davis, I think, is going to have a nice week, and he needs to make it count because his time's almost over. Brown is a man for me versus Cincinnati, number 15 defense. I do think that he's going to start trending up. I think Marquise Brown's going to start seeing some action and getting some points, but I don't think it's right now. I think it's in a few weeks. Anderson is a go for me in a shootout against Atlanta. Ertz is a no for me versus Pittsburgh. Henry is a big go for me. He's playing Buffalo, number 27th run defense. Seahawks is kind of a wash for me. It's number 8 defense versus the number 6 offense. But that Seattle's going to put up points and then they're going to get scored on because the team has to come from behind. So, Seattle's defense is actually pretty good, but it's not good enough to minimize points. So it's hard for me to pick Seattle, I guess. And Fairbairn, I think that even though Houston's offense has been struggling, I still think that they're gonna make it to the red zone and fail. So I think he's a go for me. But I do have Marshall winning 147 to 121.
All right, I'll go next. Like I had said with hashtags team 2, there was a few teams that I looked at right after the draft that I thought were good and solid all the way through. Marshall's is one of those teams. I think he got a bad roll the first few weeks, and I'm expecting him as the season goes on. If it does continue to go on, he's going to get on a roll. I think Watson, I don't think he's going to quite do what he's projected to do. And the reason why is last week against Minnesota, Harrison Smith went out late first quarter, early second quarter. Can't remember exactly which one. And the pass defense was never the same in Minnesota. He just picked on Harrison Smith's replacement. I think that gave him some inflated numbers. I still like Deshaun Watson overall, though. I think that now that they fired Bill O'Brien, they got Romeo Crennel in there. I think that you're going to start to see that team improve. I think they're actually going to come out and try to play hard. I just don't know if we're going to see it from the offense this week. Anyway, moving on. Cook's a stud. Carson's been doing great. So is Metcalf. Devontae Parker against San Francisco. Yeah, he's probably not going to do much against that defense, but still he's not going to need it. Will Fuller's got he's got some good skills. Like I said, I don't see that offense quite popping out yet in Houston. On Judy's side, David Johnson, as you said, Dave, he doesn't quite have it this year. I don't know if he just doesn't quite, it seems like he doesn't quite have that burst that you need to be a really big time running back right now. And that's sad. I know we all want David Johnson to do well. We're all from the Clinton area, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I don't think he's quite got that burst anymore.
He looks different for sure.
Yeah, he looks a little slow. Breeze is always consistent. Davis, like you said, he's just got a couple weeks left. He's been doing pretty good. I think he's been playing a little over his head, but I think that he's going to do decent. Robbie Anderson's been popping off in Carolina. And as you said before, Philly is just lost right now in offense. So I don't think you're going to see many points from Ertz. Henry, Varner's going to have to keep an eye on that whole situation down there with 2 positive COVID tests. Who knows? The game might get pushed again. So actually anyone with Tennessee players, I think Henry's the only one that's actually supposed to be starting this week. As we've looked through the lineups, but you got to keep an eye on that because who knows, they might cancel a whole game. All that being said, I got Fournettecated by 8.
Okay. Let's see here. So I have Marshall by 7. I'm I'm probably going to talk a little bit off the beaten path on this one, but there's a couple things I want to touch on this matchup. First off, like I just said, Sean's losing the rest of the year, so I'm picking Marshall by default. Secondly, Deshaun Watson, like I said, I might get a little bit off the path here, but I've had a conversation with a few people about Deshaun Watson. Listen, Deshaun Watson is strictly a shotgun quarterback. We all know it. He doesn't take snaps under center. You take away D-Hop, and it's really showing his lack of what I feel is lack of talent, his lack of accuracy, everything. Does anyone else kind of agree? Just a side note, is it tank time for these guys? Like, you gave him $40 million a year. I'm saying tank. You draft his replacement from Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, and you trade Deshaun Watson for a first-round draft pick, and you literally replace your first-round pick with a draft pick, so you can take Lawrence, start a different direction. I'm not high on Watson, never really have been. I don't think it's working out down there, which also takes me over to the David Johnson side. First off, if I was ever going to be high on David Johnson at all, this would have to be the week, just because he's playing Jacksonville. But my feelings on David Johnson are the exact same thing. He does not fit in a shotgun offense. They had Duke Johnson, who made a living out of catching in Cleveland, 70, 80 catches a year out of the backfield. A little receiving halfback. David Johnson is a great receiving halfback. Look what Duke Johnson has done in his time in Houston. His numbers are way down, way down. And he was a backup in Cleveland, and he still got those numbers. They do not use that little swing pass to halfback. So David Johnson's going to be down. Deshaun Watson's going to be down. I think that whole Houston thing is broken. It's time to blow it up and start over. Sorry, side note. Moving down his list, though, again, Deshaun Watson, like I just said, not liking him, but he's playing Jacksonville. So I agree with Kilo. He's going to be somewhere around projection, low 20s. Dalvin Cook, Seattle's front seven is actually pretty decent. Again, he does get utilized in the passing game, though, quite a bit. So he might get a lot of points just off of receptions, but don't see Dalvin Cook running for like 125 this week. Chris Carson, big on. Metcalf, big on. Do not like Devontae Parker in there, Marshall. You've got other options. Hunter Henry, I'm actually big on. Will Fuller should do okay against Jacksonville. And like you said, Dave, it all depends on who New England plays at quarterback, as far as how the Broncos do. On the other side, Drew Brees is probably going to do what Deshaun Watson does, low 20s. David Johnson, if there's ever a week, this is the week. And the thing about Mike Davis that actually got me concerned is Mike Davis has played at such a decent level that even when McCaffrey comes back, I think that it's not that he's like literally going to steal touches from McCaffrey, but they rely so much on McCaffrey down there to be like 80% of their offense. I think they realize that, hey, we have somebody else that can take some of this weight off of his shoulders. And I think that's going to hurt my fantasy points because McCaffrey's not going to get, constant fed because they say, hey, Mike Davis did really well without him. So Mike Davis still might be relevant in this league. Might have found a little spot. So Marquise Brown, so Robbie Anderson high, Zach Ertz, again, same thing, Dave. I am not high on Zach Ertz until this dude can go out there and get one game of like 8 catches and 75 yards and a touchdown. I'm selling the whole Philly offense. It's trash. Derrick Henry high and Seahawks defense. Yeah, they're okay. So I'm taking Marshall by 7. Suck on that, Sean.
The one thing with Mike Davis, I don't think you have too much to worry about, honestly. And he might take some sort of percentage from McCaffrey, but McCaffrey's so good that he's still gonna make points with his touches.
Oh, and he will. Yes, I know. Yeah, I do agree. I just think that they're gonna say, hey, maybe we don't have to lean so hard on this guy because now that he's been injured,
And then, I mean, honestly, with Mike Davis, like doing like what Kilo said, kind of playing over his head within this time frame, the plays that they probably wouldn't utilize McCaffrey, they can put him in as a decoy almost.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Mike Davis is going to be relevant after McCaffrey comes back, and if he is, it's going to be super minimal. It's definitely not. It's definitely not an RB1 or RB2 slot. That's for sure. Like maybe a flex if you're
right. That's yep. Maybe a filler for a week if he's getting like 5 receptions a week for 50 yards.
Yeah, yeah.
I do want to say this, just going back to your Houston point though, Joe. I think that I don't think the offense is really going to show out in Houston, but I think that you're going to see them kind of turn around a little bit, at least for a couple of weeks. With them getting rid of Bill O'Brien, I think that was a toxic locker room with him down there. I don't think that any of the players were really playing for him. So I think to fix the problems with the offense is going to take longer, but I think you're going to see a lot of effort out of Houston this week.
Yeah, the one thing, not to drag this out, but the one thing that I've noticed, so logically speaking, when you fire a coach or GM or any upper level management, basically, during the season, you're basically telling your organization that you are not expecting to do much the rest of the way, because I mean, you game plan the system for however long in the off season, your OTAs, your preseason, and throughout the season, you're trying to establish yourself, right? So when you do that, you're basically saying, yeah, we no longer care to a point. But the weird thing is, whenever this happens, it doesn't matter what team it is, they always have a surge for like 2 or 3 weeks. And kind of like what Kilo said, I think it's where these players were either, not playing for whoever, or they're just fucking tired of the bullshit and how things are ran, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm not in the locker rooms, but isn't it weird that it just seems like that's always the case? I don't know, but
Yeah.
anyway, so we got all the matchups done. Thank you guys. Let's move on to our very last segment. It's Come On Man.
All right, what do you guys got? I don't have very many at all. I only got 2, so I'll let you guys go ahead.
All right, Lions fan here. So I'm going to start by picking on the Bears. The Bears had 28 rushing yards total for the whole team last week.
Ooh.
There was a total of 45 different players throughout the whole league that rushed for more yards than the whole Chicago Bears offense.
Jackson did it in one run.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
All this talk about Monty this, Monty that.
Who
Monty
the
can't
hell's
be
Monty,
tackled.
bro?
Yeah. Listen, you don't even deserve a nickname yet. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
All right. I got 2 more and then I'll let you guys go. Second one is Tom Brady. This, I guess, is kind of a bit more of a fact, but he has thrown 4 pick sixes in the last 6 games. Now, this is someone who everyone says is the greatest quarterback of all time. Debatable, still hell of a good quarterback. At 43 years old, you should not be throwing 4 picks in the last 6 games that go back for touchdowns.
Yeah, 4 picks in general.
You think it's the ball speed, or do you think it's he's not seeing that defenders jumping the route?
It's the jersey color, bro.
It's the jersey. Is
It's
this true?
changing them up,
Yeah.
bro.
No matter.
True.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Still the GOAT. I don't care what you say.
And the last one I've got is Malik Jackson for the Eagles. This clip has been all over. The 49ers were driving near the end of the game, got the ball on the 1-yard line. Ref walks over, spots the ball on the 1, turns his back, and Malik Jackson reaches out his foot and shoves it back about half a yard. Now, I get it. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But everyone in the days of replay and YouTube and Twitter and video all over the place, people are going to see it. People are going to call you out on it. You got to be aware of it. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That is funny, though.
Oh,
We'll just
man.
move this right quick.
Yep.
Just
Nobody's
a little nudge with the
looking.
foot.
There's
Well,
not 87 cameras on me right now.
right. Well, there's no fans there to see it, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Joe, go ahead. Mine is league related, so I
All
want to
right,
do
bro.
mine.
All right, so I've got 3 actually. Dallas and Cleveland. I don't know if anyone watched the game. I was watching, of course. And of course, here we go again. They're down by 24 fourth quarter, and they're staging a huge comeback. I mean, a huge comeback. And then Beckham, gets one handoff and nobody can tackle him. He runs like 50 fucking yards for a touchdown. But then
Super elusive.
they block the extra point. Okay. So now listen, I commend what Jalen Smith was trying to do because I get it. Like if you return this block extra point, you're getting 2 points, which now means you're only down by 7 and you're getting the ball back. I totally understand. Problem is, Jalen Smith, as fast as you are, you're fast, dog. The ball was on like the 10-yard line, 12-yard line. Homie tries to pick it up instead of just jumping on it, just down the ball. Ball goes squirting all over the place. It's a scramble. It rolls into the end zone, and an offensive lineman from Cleveland falls on top of it for 2 points.
Yeah, that shit was nuts.
Goes down by 11. Come on, man. We could have touchdown, a field goal. Now we're touchdown, 2 point, and a field goal.
That was a come on, man, bro.
Yeah,
When I was watching that, I was like, what in the fuck?
But leave it
happened?
to, it's every
Right.
defender in the league. They see a loose ball and they get excited, bro. They all think they can return it for a touchdown. But man, that's so crucial. They're just taking after McCarthy right now. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Next one, the New England and Kansas City game. Everybody was watching this. So they rushed Mahomes. They hit this dude, right? And the ball is in his he's got his arm cocked backwards, no forward motion yet.
Oh,
Ball
yeah,
comes
that was
out
nuts.
and lands like in the hands of a defender from New England. They blow the play dead. Now this is a fumble, which has now turned into a interception because it didn't touch the ground. And they blow the play as an incomplete pass. So first, refs, come on, man. And they all say Belichick, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you can actually challenge an incomplete pass call now. I think that's been changed back. So you can actually challenge if it was a catch, but not an incomplete pass. So people are dogging Belichick for not throwing a challenge flag, but I don't know if you can. But even if you could, come on, man, throw that flag anyway, dog. I'd throw everything. I'd throw my shoe out there. I'd throw anything I had anything on me. Like, listen, bro, I need somebody's attention. That was a bullshit call.
So I don't know if you heard, that was bullshit, by the way, but they asked Belichick why he didn't throw the flag, and he said that he was down. So in his mind, he said there's no point of throwing the flag. But I do agree with you. That shit was, I mean, at that point, it was close, Like,
yeah. I
You'd
got
think
one.
the refs would learn by now that you let the play finish up if there's any kind of doubt.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you throw it out afterwards.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I've got
totally, come on, man.
I've got one last come on, man. So everybody knows my trophy went for a world fucking tour, and tons of videos, tons of fun. You guys are all dicks, by the way. But last video, right? The judge and the jury was over the top. It was fantastic. I was laughing the whole time. But my dog Johnny O, we had an 10-man jury because excluding me. What in the hell, Johnny? You can't get on video and give the champ a guilty? Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. I talked to him about it. I respect it, but come on, bro. This is only between the 12 people in this league. Ain't no one trying to fuck with you. I mean, we're trying to fuck with you, but no one's gonna blast you out in public and shit.
For sure.
But all right, real quick, because I gotta go to work. But my two are, I did have one, but I have two because you reminded me. And I'm gonna try with this video setup that I have, software, piecing in some clips of the game. But when the Odell was running that ball all the way like 472 yards, I think he ran to the touchdown. There was a
He was doing
time where
suicides and not getting tackled.
2 Dallas defenders laid out the blocker that was behind him.
Yeah.
Laid him
Yeah.
out, just smashed him on the sideline. Like, bro, you didn't even try and tackle him.
Yeah.
Like, they made no attempt to tackle him. And then my league oriented, come on, man. And this is a collective, come on, man. And I hope that we break this streak. But every week in our league so far, we have had one player at least score 0 points. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
God damn. That is a
man.
disgrace. We cannot tell people about that. I tell people about how we're the greatest league in the world. We cannot tell them that we're playing players with 0 points. Like,
Was it
come on.
Calvin Ridley this week?
Yeah. So
Come on, Mark.
come on, Mark. All right, boys. Thank you for the episode. It was really enjoyable. Thank you to everyone for listening to Taco's Truck again. Once again, I'm David Molly, co-host Joe Stevenson, and special guest Andrew Kilo. Thank you very much, and you guys have a good one.
All right, boys. Peace out.
See you.
Later, guys.